Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Tracy learns Gregory passed away from spoiler, and Finn turns to Chase for help. All products and services featured are independently chosen by editors. However, soaps.com may receive a commission on orders placed through its retail links, and the retailer may receive certain auditable data for accounting purposes. In Albany, Diane and Alexis return to the courtroom. Diane jokes Fergus will give himself a migraine if he keeps scowling. Alexis knows he hates her, and Diane thinks he's completely unhinged. The court is called back into session, and the judges ask Alexis to make her final statement. Alexis wants to return to her earlier points. She again says she lied under oath, but to a medical board, not in a court of law. She's asked by one judge why that matters. She says she testified as a citizen, not a lawyer, and she was doing it to save the career of a man who happened to be the late brother of the opposing counsel, Fergus Byrne. Fergus reminds the court that he recused himself, but Alexis says he was replaced by his law partner. She also says her accuser, Iva Jerome, is the sister of her later ex-husband and did this for revenge. She insists where she perjured herself is important, and the fact that she was not informed of her hearing, nor her accuser, also should be factored in. She says this disbarment was not about law, but instead Iva Jerome's and Fergus Byrne's vendettas against her. Alexis says her personal life, as flawed as it may be, has no bearing on her ability to practice the law. She argues she was a damn good lawyer and has a great track record, and she lost her license due to a personal vendetta. She never got to speak her piece before, but she is now. Fergus makes his case and says Alexis did not bring up that she was previously suspended for convincing her client Carlos Rivera not to testify against Julian, who was her husband at the time. Unfortunately, Carlos died by Julian's hand before he could speak, possibly which was Alexis wanted. Diane and Alexis both object. Fergus launches into a tirade that both his brothers Neil and Brendan died because of their involvement with Alexis. He yells, "You destroyed my family, and I'm here to make sure you never destroy anyone else's." The judges continually call order to the court as Fergus and Diane object over and over. Fergus says Alexis' perjury and her lies led to both his brothers' deaths and got her disbarred. He says she has demonstrated she has no regard for legal ethics and insists she remains disbarred. The judges say they'll be in touch with their decision within 30 days. Diane looks over at Fergus and tells him that he should be ashamed of himself. He walks out. Tracy returns to the stables from a ride and beams to Cody how great it was. Cody says he was told she was needed at the house, and he'll take care of cleaning up everything. Tracy doesn't think anyone needs her, but he says Chase needs her. Tracy says he and Brooklyn are on a plane to Florence. Cody tells her that they couldn't get on that plane. Tracy asks why not. Cody simply says he's sorry. Tracy realizes Gregory died. Cody gets Tracy some water, and she laments how she just saw Gregory yesterday. She knew this was eventually coming, but this was so sudden. Cody is sorry she had to hear it from him. Tracy says she's not, as she thinks Gregory was a lot like him when he was younger. Cody is flattered but doesn't see it. Tracy says they both have an open way of dealing with things and no worries. He laughs that he worries, and the horses help alleviate his troubles. Tracy says for Gregory, it was his family that did that for him. She lists more similarities, such as he doesn't miss a thing, he doesn't talk much, and he doesn't push people around. She says he gives people a lot of grace, and that is a gift. Tracy tells Cody that if anyone asks, let them know he told her the news. He again says he's sorry, and she says she's sorry too. Tracy heads out. At the hospital, Portia tells Liz that she's sorry what happened. Finn called her and told her about Gregory and that he wouldn't be in today. She felt lucky to see him in his element at the wedding, and how much he loved his family. Portia thinks this must be hard for her too, as she was basically part of the family. Portia asks about Finn, and Liz admits he's struggling. Portia says she could take the day off to be with him. Liz says he doesn't want her around. Portia can see that and says she is her friend, so talk to her. Liz notes she's also the co-chief of staff. Molly meets with TJ in the hall as they are about to head to lunch. Liz flags Molly down and tells her that she keeps trying to get hold of her mom. Molly heard about Gregory and says Alexis is in Albany for her appeals hearing. Liz learns she'll be home tomorrow and says she'd like to talk to Alexis herself rather than have Molly relay the news. Tracy arrives and runs into Liz. They both note what a hard day it is. Tracy is looking for Stella, and Liz lets her know she's in the break room. Tracy heads into the break room. Stella says she heard about Gregory. They sit, and Tracy knows Stella is a patient advocate and says if anything comes up regarding bills or anything she can handle with her hands or her checkbook, to let her know. Stella says she will. Tracy doesn't want Gregory's family to worry about anything right now. She says she also wants her name kept out of this, as this isn't her loss. Stella says it is her loss too, and what she is offering to do is more than others would. Tracy notes Gregory changed her, and she doesn't want to let him down, at least not so soon. Tracy thinks she should head home as she's been avoiding her family long enough. Stella slides a cookie over to her and says, "What's a few more minutes?" Tracy accepts the cookie and laughs with Stella. Liz goes into the locker room and tries to walk out when Portia enters. Portia asks her not to leave. She's hurt and confused as to why Liz is avoiding her. Liz says this isn't her story to tell. Portia is worried about her. Liz mumbles that she's not the one she should be worried about. Portia says now she's scared. Liz admits when she went to Finn's he was drinking. She explains what happened, but sees the look on Portia's face. She hopes she didn't make a mistake confiding in her. Back at the central nurses' station, Liz apologizes for dumping everything on Portia. Portia says she is glad she trusted her as her friend. Liz thinks it's just still fresh, and once the death settles, everything will get back to normal. She knows Finn will be strong for Violet and himself, and Portia says he has patients who rely on him too. Liz begs her to keep the secret. Portia knows how important Finn's sobriety is to him, and this was probably a one-time crisis that is over. Liz thanks her as she really needed to hear someone say that. She walks off, and Portia's smile fades to a look of worry. At Bobby's, Violet and Brooklyn continue talking about Gregory. Violet is scared as she forgets things all the time, like her times tables, and she's worried she'll forget Grandpa. Brooklyn says that's not possible, as the people who love us and we love become a part of us. Molly and TJ have lunch outside. Their talk turns to Christina, and Molly admits Christina's been ignoring her calls and texts. TJ wonders if that is his fault. Molly feels they're both to blame when it comes to Christina, as they have been on top of her a lot lately. Che knows other surrogates wouldn't handle all their inquiries and interferences as well as Christina has. They focus on having a baby and know Christina needs to be able to live her life as well. At Finn's, Finn tells Chase that the person he found in that bed didn't look like Dad, didn't have that same smile, that he didn't smell like Old Spice, and was so cold. He cries he didn't want this to happen. Chase hugs him and says neither did he. Finn says he's handled this all wrong. He pushed Liz away and relied on that bottle. Chase tells him there is no right way to grieve. Finn says he clearly chose the wrong way. He says he's hurt Dad so many times, now he has thrown away his sobriety, which Dad was proud of him for. Chase says he rebuilt his relationship with Dad so he can do it with his sobriety. Finn asks Chase for a favor to get rid of the booze. Chase does so. Brooklyn brings Violet back, and they plan to have grilled cheese for lunch, just like Grandpa made them. After lunch, Violet asks her dad if she can play on her tablet. He says she can, but first he needs a hug. He says he loves her, and to never forget that. Violet runs off, and Finn tells Brooklyn that he's sorry she is missing her honeymoon. Brooklyn says she's here for whatever he needs. He thinks he needs a meeting, and Chase says that's a good idea.